not so much backseat critique as it is end of my bed critique.
Well, we don't have a car right now.
That's true.
Whenever Aaron's
Look at my
back,
fabulous linens.
whenever Aaron's back, we'll sit in his car again.
True. You leave the cat alone. There's a cat that's sleeping like right off camera. Like, totally. You know, it's so cute.
Babadook.
I told you not to do it!
Babadook.
I'm walking out of this right now.
Babadook.
Stop it. You're not funny. You think that you're funny, but you're not funny.
I am fun.
No, you're not. So guess what we saw? It's a movie. Stop! Don't. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna walk out the door and I'm gonna go downstairs. You can do it yourself, and I'm not taking you dinner. Yeah, yeah. Who wears the hoodie in this family? That's me. But well, you wear a hoodie sometimes, so I lend you one of mine. But yeah, so we saw a movie about how depressing and awkward Australia is. Stop! 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 I can see you in the viewfinder. Here. Internet be mollified. It's a cat. Aww.
Baba cat.
Stop it. So yeah. So literally, we had seen a trailer for this movie when we saw, was it Annabelle?
Annabelle.
We saw Annabelle, and the audience laughed. Like, the audience literally started laughing because it looked like, oh, a movie about a possessed Maurice Sendak book.
Yeah.
Alright. People were laughing. We were laughing. And so then...
And then we heard it was critically acclaimed.
Yeah, and I read an article about, oh, if you see one horror movie this season, see this because it's really good. And Film Brain said it was really, really good, and we were lamenting because we didn't think it was going to come to Derry.
Yeah, I was bitching about it on Twitter that we had to go to see Ouija, but we can't see the Babadook. Luckily, though, the secondary cinema in town, it got the Babadook. I don't know if the main one did, but this one definitely
So
did.
we actually are going to go see Ouija and then...
Yeah, in about half an hour.
But, so, I liked it. Which is strange. You know, it reminded me a lot of The Others. The main character reminded me a lot of Nicole Kidman's character in The Others.
But played by Australian Miranda Richardson.
Yeah. And it was a very sensory movie. I don't know how to put this any other way. You could almost feel the textures of things. There was a very good use of sound and light.
Except when the Dragon Zord.
Yes, okay, they did use a generic sound clip.
Yes, they used some clips, some audio from like the Dragon Zord, what sounded like the Cluster Lizard from Lex. Really took it out of the movie because most of the sound design is really good.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that we did some digging when we got back and found out that they were able to raise about $30,000 on Kickstarter. Most of that went to the art department. And it showed. I mean, it was a very atmospheric movie.
Very 1920s expressionism.
Yeah, the people on, I don't know, I can't quantify or disprove that. I don't know about that.
The, Nosferatu.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, that sort of thing.
The people were very real. And usually, people in a movie feel like just, oh, this is the actor who's playing this part. These people felt real.
Because we didn't recognize any of them.
And, well, because they're all Australian, probably.
Well, yeah.
And they were flawed, and it was just... People's interactions with other people felt very,
I've seen enough Australian
nervous.
films and TV to be able to usually if I see an Australian film, I recognize at least one person.
Mm-hmm.
And this, the only person, the Doctor looked a bit like Julian, I want to say McMahon or something. No, the guy who played Doctor Doom in the crappy Fantastic Four movies. Not the one made... There
were no Wallabies.
Not the one that was done by Roger Corman, the other two.
That one.
But yeah, he was. I thought it was him for a second. I'm like, no, wait, no, he's about 20 years too old.
Yeah, so at first this seemed to be a movie about your standard possession. Then it seemed to be like a rationalist horror movie about mental illness. And then the ending happened.
Well, even before that, you've got the part of it where it's basically like a really depressing relationship drama between a mother and a child, both of which are severely have issues.
Yes, yes. This is also an uncomfortable film. People's small talk, just like in Annabelle, people's small talk is uncomfortable. Just everything about it is just like...
Annabelle was like just because it was badly
badly acted.
Badly handled, and this one it's...
I think it's on purpose.
You got people who you could accept as real people with real issues having unpleasant times with each other.
Yeah, like there's a lot of scenes where trigger warning, if you have issues of some parts of your childhood, this film might not be for you. But, and then the end happened, and usually, stuff would happen, and the scene would start, and I would say to her, I think I know where this scene is going, and then it happened. And then, but, a twist, you're like, oh, it was such a twist, I saw that coming 5 miles away.
Yeah, usually one of us does.
And that's just, how it goes in this day and age, but I did not see that coming.
Yeah, we'll not talk about the ending until later on, so if you want to see it, you can go and see it. But yeah, the ending's like left field.
It's like, we're like, oh, I better get home and look it up on IMDb and see.
I don't know the kid. I don't know if he's just an amazing actor or if they chose someone who's really, really irritating. But the child was severely punchable.
Yes.
But that's what they were going for, so...
So it's not one of those issues of you have a child actor who's, exceedingly cloying. This child was... This is the kind of child, if you are at one side of Tesco, you can hear them from the other screaming that they want a sweet, and you're like, somebody needs to tranquilize that child.
And they did.
Yes, they did. Yes.
And I'm still wanting to know if the Babadook himself, because he's such a distinctive monster, and I want to know if he was based on an earlier idea.
Yeah, or something like Aboriginal or something, because it sounds like, some kind of, demon named for the onomatopoeia of, a bird's cry, or, a noise an animal would make on the outback or something. And how the Japanese have all those weird toilet demons and, hopping umbrellas and shit like that? That was, some Australian things. You're Australian, right, the show?
The design of the monster was very, very, very 1920s expressionist. There was
with the hat and
a lot of very Lon Chaney Jr.
Oh, you know what it reminded me of? Edward Gorey.
Oh, is that the
cartoonist?
Terrible things for kids?
No, not that's Lies to Tell Small Children. That's James Riley, the guy that wrote the Bunny Suicides book.
Oh.
No, Edward Gorey. He does. It kind of looks like faux Victorian, Edwardian kind of line drawings. Everyone thinks he's British, but he's not. He was American. I think he's dead now. Well, you guys you know what I'm talking about, but
maybe.
Everyone knows who Edward Gorey is.
Except for me.
We'll Google it. But yeah, so if it was a very tense, very uncomfortable movie, but in a good way, so I liked it. I have to say, it's the first horror movie since The Others and The Orphanage, and I was like, yeah, wow, that really made me feel tense and uncomfortable. I mean, it didn't have a lot of jump scares. It did have a few. Because I don't like jump scares. I think they're cheating.
Yeah, and it's very easy. Horror is the sort of genre that is very easy to make compared to other genres, because really all you need is a couple of characters, something horrible, blood, horror movie.
Honey, I was a demon the whole time.
Yeah, it's very easy to make a horror film compared to other ones. It's very easy to make a passable horror film, like a decent horror film, because horror films, you either go there to be scared or to see some violence or to laugh at violence.
Yeah.
So quite easy. However, horror, while they're the easiest ones to make an okay job at, they're also one of the hardest to make really good.
I agree.
And the best use of horror films are those ones which don't have that many scares, the ones that are constantly building. Now,
it's like a kind of tense psychological thing, like in The Orphanage. There was parts in The Orphanage where she was just walking outside in the garden during the broad daylight, and nothing's going to happen outside in the broad daylight, but you're still yeah.
And
the others didn't have that, but I still liked it, so that was good.
Well, yeah, I just think the finest example of all build-up, one scare, an entire film, masterfully, is the original Japanese version of Ring.
Which I've never seen, but I'll take your word for it.
It's really good.
Yeah. But
yeah, jump scares are an easy way to make an okay horror film. However, they are absent from great horror films.
Yeah. Because it's cheating,
And they diffuse the horror.
Yeah, it's like, aha, I made everybody in the audience jump. I don't like that. And, scare me with a concept of something. Like, for example, the end of The Orphanage, when you realize, oh, Christ! Oh, my God! Whoa, I need a second to process this. Hold on a second. That's good. Not what? It jumped out, but actually it was just the cat. You thought it was a grandma.
Yeah, it's build tension, build tension, build tension, build tension. Jump scare! Gone. Gotta build again. While the Babadook has less scares, so what it's doing is constantly building. You
keep thinking it's, alright, now we're heading into the climax. And then it would be no, keep it
the film never ends. It never finishes.
We're ending into the climax?
It's like Return of the King. It's constantly going, we got another thing to do! Another bit! Another bit!
That was the part that Frodo and went to Alice Springs, which is apparently somewhere that's in the bugfuck of Australia, impossible to get to.
They used so many public domain clips in this. A lot of films from early pre-1920s.
If they had to raise part of their budget on Kickstarter, I don't blame him for it.
Oh yeah, it was used quite well, but they had like all this footage from what I think was like Haxan and like you mentioned the was it Lumiere brothers Journey to the Moon.
Yeah, they
So-
reminded me of.
They had that sort of era of
Because
of
apparently
filming.
this woman has one channel on her TV that's like 1940s O-Vision.
or
It's just-
19 or earlier.
Yeah, but that was the same channel that was like showing black and white early Looney Tunes cartoons and like old black and white movies, and I'm like, why is there always the old-timey channel? Like, literally, like, even people, like, with basic cable, not even, I'm talking like the millions of HD channels, do you sit there and you'll be like, okay, the news, the local channel, alright, ESPN, C-SPAN, that you don't go, oh, look, the old channel. I mean,
Well, there
quickly, we need to be atmospheric, put on the old-timey channel.
But they very cleverly, they either found footage of stuff that looked just like the Babadook, which is entirely possible, or they digitally integrated the Babadook into the shots. I'm not sure
It
of
looked a
which.
bit digitally altered. People who are good with After Effects, if you've seen it, let us know if that's what's going
Yeah,
on.
it's probably integrated, but the Babadook's design is so that era that it could be original as well. And there was a lovely bit where she was looking at this police report from like years ago, but this woman who went insane and killed her son on his birthday and stuff.
Mhm.
And then you see close-ups of her, and then suddenly the closest close-up, and you see her looking out at the camera from the house.
Mhm.
And it's very well done, although clearly a different type of footage. So they blew up the VHS or whatever it was footage, and then they used some actually
The digital
photo,
to-
and it was a bit jarring.
You could tell.
They should have filmed her from really far away, and then VHS'd it a couple of times, probably.
Yeah. But, again, like I said, trigger warning, if you had issues growing up, if in your childhood, if you were a victim of abuse, if you were a victim of emotional or mental abuse, this might not be the movie for you. Just saying. Just get that out of the way.
Yep. Very well made. The fact
No animals were harmed in the making of this, even though...
the fact that none of the actors are recognizable. I suppose maybe one or two of them are if you're Australian,
Sorry
but
about that,
it makes it more realistic for the rest of us. And everything else was treated very realistic as well.
Mhm.
The only things that really jarred and took you out of it were the occasional mischoice of like that close-up shot,
Yeah.
or the fact that they used the fucking Dragon Zord sound.
This didn't use the Wilhelm scream.
Mm.
Wah! So,
Yeah.
alright, so that was that.
But
So,
very good.
beyond this point, there are spoilers. If you watch it, well, it's not our fault. Go.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to keep it running for the blip revenue, I guess just mute it and, I don't know,
You can
open
pretend
up
we're
Twitter
talking
in
about something
another
else.
tab. You can just Google strange things if you like. But yeah, so the ending. So you have this whole build-up that there's this evil book, and it's like your standard horror movie. It's the evil book, and oh no, it's about something scary, and so she puts it away, but it comes back again, so she tears it up, and it comes back
just like
again,
in
she
Sinister.
burns it, and yeah.
But in Sinister, it was all like it's back. It was burned, and then suddenly it's back, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
There's no like repairing.
In
This one,
this,
it's
it was like put back together and stuff with new stuff, and
yeah, new bits were put in. It was like torn
And
up, and it was
so, alright, I think
repaired.
that's where you're going, and then the mother, her life is falling apart, she takes the kid out of school because he has emotional problems and all this stuff, and you're like, alright, I see where this is going. It's going to be a rationalist horror movie. It's not supernatural. These are her delusions, because she's the only person, again, that's witnessing these things. There's no physical evidence of the things that she's witnessing. So I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I get it. She's going to kill the kid, kill the dog, and kill herself, and this will have been about her mental illness, her burden as a single mother and the caretaker of an emotional child, as a widow, blah, 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 blah. So then she's the face down with the Babadook, and all this stuff happens, then she's screaming at it, you won't have my son, this is my place, blah, and then it deflates and whoops on the ground.
and then it suddenly grows up really large in her face. We see it from its point of view, and it's all light in her face.
Like she goes to touch the hat, and the kid's like, don't touch it, and she goes, don't touch it, Mom, it's evil! And then it goes, wah, and you see her voice go, whoa, my goodness!
And it's all, her face is all white, and
And
she's
it goes,
screaming to
meow,
it. So it's like
meow.
the very start of Ghostbusters.
So you see it from its point of view as it like screeches and zooms down the basement, and then you see them locking the basement door. So you never actually got to see what it looked like underneath the hat.
Which
and the
is
things.
better.
Yeah, it's very Lovecraftian, actually.
Because
Although I thought what she
because
did.
seeing it would just be disappointing.
True.
It'd be like Night of the Demon all over again.
But the thing is, so a few times throughout this, it took the form of her dead husband. And the husband died in a car crash, taking her to the hospital to have the baby. And so there's a whole bunch of issues involved with that, but, you know. And so they're like, okay, everything's going to be fine now. It's okay, honey. Things... And then the next scene is she's got her job back. She's back in her uniform for work.
The nice little old lady next door is alive.
Yeah, I was really afraid they killed the old lady with Parkinson's. Like, I just want to let you guys know, I know things have been difficult for you, but I love you both, and if you need anything, you just call me, because I love you both, you and your son. And I was like, oh, don't kill the poor old lady with Parkinson's. Because she comes home from work, and the little kid's like, Mom, Mrs. Roach has Parkinson's, that's why she goes like this. And she's like, would you stop that? But, so that made me happy. The only casualty was the dog, unfortunately. She just snapped the dog's neck. But, so then, like, she's talking to the Health and Human Services people, and she's like, well, we're going to put him in this school. It seems really good. They're like, we're so glad that worked out. And he's having a birthday party.
And it's his birthday. And
it's
the
his actual
police
birthday.
report that indicated that she was going to be, like, a portion of what she was going to do. The kid died on the kid's birthday.
Yeah.
So we're like, oh, she's going to go crazy and murder again, maybe.
Yeah, because he used to celebrate his birthday at the same time as his cousin, because his mother didn't want to celebrate it on the actual day, because it was also the anniversary of her husband's death, which I guess makes sense. But, like, everyone kind of treated it like that was so weird for her to do, but I don't think it was, quite honestly.
I don't think so.
I don't think I could see that. But then, so, later she's gardening, and, he's like,
Or simpler, why not just lie to him about when his birthday is? He wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But then it might cause problems later in life if he has a birth certificate that says this. He's giving his date of birth as this on, like, government forms and stuff. He might get in trouble.
Well, when he's older, he can find out.
But anyway. So then he's like, look, I found all the worms. And she's like, you did a good job. Those are a lot of worms that you found. So you know how kids collect bugs. So then she takes the bowl of worms to the basement door where the Babadook is locked. And she's like, no, go outside and don't come back until I tell you. And she goes downstairs. And she, like, puts it on the ground. You can hear it, like, rah, making noises in the corner. And it goes, like, an invisible voice yoinks the bowl into the shadows. And then, like, at first it rushes up and she goes, shh, shh, no. And it's like, rah. And then she goes back outside. And he goes, how is it? And she's like, oh, he was very quiet today. Will I ever get to see it? Maybe someday. So she's keeping it. Okay, you could take this one of two ways. That she has captured an eldritch abomination, and she's keeping it as a pet in the basement and feeding it bugs.
Yep.
Or it's all a complicated metaphor for her mental illness, and there never was anything supernatural at all. But
Well,
if she is keeping a demon in the basement, I have a theory that it's because it knows how to take the form of her dead husband.
that's entirely possible.
Which makes this even just a little bit sicker.
Because I'm thinking that...
And there's a hilarious scene with the vibrator. It's just hilarious, is what I'm saying.
I'm taking this as being because the Babadook cannot leave once it's come in. It's got to kill you, and then it can go off on its way.
Yeah.
However, you got to be afraid of it in order to kill you, I think. So her getting all, like, angry and being all like, you will fucking not hurt my child, and being angry at it.
This is my house, you're a trespasser.
The Babadook has no power over her anymore.
Right.
So therefore he's like, I can't actually go until you're dead, and you're not going to let me kill you.
And it went back down to the basement where she keeps all the relics of her husband.
So I think that's why this happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I'm just going to hide here, we'll have our weird symbiotic thing until you die, and then I'll fly away.
It's a weird movie. The mother and son have a weird... It's uncomfortable. This is an uncomfortable movie. You're going to need a shower. Well, not a shower. Maybe just, like, wash your face a little bit. And then
I can definitely see sort of overtones with the mother and son as well.
Yeah, there was a thread on IMDb. Like, am I getting some sexual overtones here? Just a little teeny bit. But, I mean, it's good. So, go see it. Definitely, if you think that you'll like it, because it was good. I mean, we weren't expecting that twist. We were not expecting that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
I want a sequel where it's a home invasion movie, and so these guys attack the house a la Straw Dogs, but then they get led into the basement and get killed.
So it's like Babadook alone, sort of home.
Yeah. That'd be fucking awesome.
So, yeah. So, now we're gonna go see Ouija, and then have dinner, hopefully.
It's gonna be fucking terrible.
Probably. We'll get to talk all about stuff I learned about in Intro to Psychology.
This movie, Ouija, is actually the official Ouija board movie. This is produced by Hasbro.
Oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
No, I'm not.
Seriously?
Yeah. I think it's Hasbro. It's definitely, this is being produced by the, with the full connection of the company that puts out Ouija boards.
Oh, Jesus fuck. What's going to be next, Monopoly?
I believe that's in production.
Are you lying to me or are you telling me the truth?
A Battleship movie was made.
Yes, and it was stupid, but at least you can apply a narrative to Battleship. There's got to be a war,
No
otherwise
one
you're
even
just
said
bombing.
I sunk my battleship in Battleship.
Oh, no, really?
No one did.
Oh, Jesus.
No one.
Well, we gotta go, you guys. I'm just.
And they're planning a
demoralized
Sims
now.
movie as well. Although that's a wonderful concept. The idea
Maybe
is
like the Truman Show.
people suddenly realize that they're not in charge of their own lives, and some malevolent force that is outside is controlling them.
I could see that being really surreal and really good, actually. So
If it's done right, yeah.
Well, we're gonna go. So, yeah.